It's Sunday, February 17th, 2019. Welcome to Action News Jax Sunday. I'm Paige Kelton. Edward Waters College is embarking on a new chapter. For the past 7 years, the historically black college had been led by Nat Glover. Today, it's led by a new man, Dr. A. Zachary Faison Jr. He sat down with Action News Jax' John Bachman to talk about what's next for the school.
Dr. Faison, thank you very much for being here with us and for joining us. I guess we're here with you.
Yes, indeed. Glad you're here.
On the campus. First, I want to talk about your vision as you take over here at Edward Waters College. But tell us a little bit about what it's been like coming into this role, following a Jacksonville legend like Nat Glover.
Well, it's been a joy. I will share with you, of course, and I'm sure your audience knows as well, that Dr. Glover is an iconic figure in this community, and certainly I stand on his shoulders as we look towards the future and just what's next for EWC. And so thus far, it's been a great experience. I'm still kind of getting acclimated, but our faculty, our students, our staff, and our alumni, we're all kind of coalescing and coming together to set what the pathway and the vision will be going forward here at EWC.
What are some key points that you want to either continue on or implement here as we go forward? Because recently there's been a bit of a movement with the city efforts to invest in some things here on campus that we hope help the community around the campus as well. What other things, or what would you like to see continued on?
So we're excited to kind of build upon the momentum. You referenced some of the investment that the city has made in this community and in Edward Waters College, and towards that end, we're looking to be able to expand some of our offerings around athletics. The city certainly gifted, as part of their gift to the institution and to the community, a community field that we're very, very excited about. We also, as a part of that gift, some of that is also going toward the renovation of one of our largest residence facilities. And so as we look to really grow our enrollment, that's something that we are very hyper-focused upon, is growing our enrollment, expanding our academic offerings, and both of those new added additions to our campus and our community, we believe, will hopefully buttress and push us further towards reaching those laudable goals.
What is your enrollment now? What would you like to see it get to?
So our enrollment for the fall was 960 students, so that's a 5% increase, and I will share that our enrollment has been increasing for 5 consecutive years. And so we're hoping and keeping our fingers crossed and really turning over every unturned stone to ensure that we reach the 1,000 student mark next year. If we're able to do that, it'll be the first time in almost 2 decades that EWC will cross that 1,000 student threshold. So that's our goal. It's one that we're working very hard towards. I think long term, we want to continue our growth, and that growth will come again through the expansion of our academic programs. It'll come as a part of the additional student services and support that we're going to be offering going forward. So there is great news, and there's a great trajectory that we're on.
See EWC in 5 years or in 10 years as far as to what the general public may see and notice?
Well, I think you'll see an institution, again, that has expanded academic offerings. We're looking at prospectively how EWC might become a university in 5 years in terms of bringing on some graduate programs. We're also looking at how we can really meet the needs of 21st century learners in terms of online degree kinds of programs. And so those are some of the things from an academic perspective that you can expect to see from Edward Waters College in 5 to 10 years. I will share with you, we're also very focused upon really enhancing our student experience. I'm a millennial, and so now that we have millennial and even post-millennial students now that are matriculating on our campuses, we want to make sure that we are a place that's meeting the needs of our students, that we offer a relevant educational experience, and one, again, that is going to attract and retain students at our campuses.
For those of us who aren't millennials, what does that look like then? What do you mean by that?
So the educational experience now is got to be one that's relevant. There's much talk about the value proposition of a college degree nowadays, and so you've got to be able to tie getting a college degree with having gainful employment post-graduation, particularly for students that are coming from lower income backgrounds, and all students. They want to know that with this piece of paper and with this education, this knowledge that I've gleaned, can I then be prepared to go into the workforce? And so that's a question that not only EWC is grappling with, but higher education in general is grappling with. And we're wanting to be on the cutting edge of making sure that our students, when they say that they're graduates of Edward Waters College, that they are ready and prepared to be able to enter the world of work or to be able to go on to graduate or professional school. And so that's going to be our focus going forward.
What kind of issues do you think that EWC faces? What would be the top couple on your list?
Well, I think any leader right now that's leading an institution of higher education, particularly one that's a private institution, of course, the cost of a higher education is something that's always on our minds. We want to ensure that we're offering a product that is affordable, but at the same time maintaining high quality. And so that's one of the things that we are kind of grappling with right now is, again, how do we make sure that we remain affordable? I will tell you, Edward Waters College is amongst the most affordable private institutions in the state of Florida. And so, you know, we're grappling with how do we still maintain that level of affordability, especially given that almost 90% of our students are Pell eligible, meaning they come from homes that generally household income is about $40,000 or less. And so we want to remain very, very close to our historic mission in providing access and opportunity, but also not sacrifice quality.
Are there any issues within the city, you know, safety-wise or otherwise? I know early on, I know there was some talk about putting fencing up around the entire campus and all of those kinds of things. Where do you stand on that? How do you feel about the community and where you sit as a campus? Are there any issues with that?
Well, let me just say this. We are a part of this Northwest Jacksonville community, and we have no intentions to ever want to leave this community. Edward Waters College is this community, and this community is Edward Waters College. With that said, there certainly are some challenges in Northwest Jacksonville. That's not something that is, you know, a revelation about, you know, pursuant to my coming. And so, you know, there have been some discussions around us having a contiguous campus. Mm-hmm. That remains a challenge. We need to be able to have a contiguous campus. And so my hope is that in working with our city officials, elected officials, that they will also see the value in supporting Edward Waters College towards us being able to establish that contiguous campus that does help us to offer a campus community that's more safe and that's more conducive to learning. Fortunately, we have not had any issues with safety here at EWC. We have a very, very strong security force here. We're relational partners with the community here, and we think that's gone a long way to helping us to have a campus environment that's both safe and conducive for learning. But there's always work left to be done. If you've ever been to our campus, we invite you to come out, 1658 Kings Road. But if you've ever been to our campus, right now we have a number of academic buildings, residence halls, and facilities that are interspersed, and in between there may be abandoned homes. There may be abandoned office space. There may be some dilapidated housing. And so one of the things that we're really going to be pushing our elected officials to do is to help this community. Again, because an uplift of Edward Waters College is an uplift for Northwest Jacksonville. And so we're wanting to see a demonstrable investment, not just in EWC, but into this community. Because again, we really believe that the future of Jacksonville rests with the future of Northwest Jacksonville. And what better place to make an investment than into the 153-year-old higher educational institution that sits right here in the heart of Northwest Jacksonville.
I was going to ask you about that, but you just answered it.
Great.
Well said. I think that's a great place to end for the day. Thank you so much.
Great.
I appreciate your time.
Thank you. Thank you so much for being here.